dum. And we are recording. Guess what, folks? It's a Sunday. Yes, it fucking is. And I forgot to switch these lights on. There we go. Time for a bit of WhatsApp. There isn't really much. Well, there's a few things to cover, but it's going to be a relatively short WhatsApp, folks, because number one, there hasn't really been anything worth of note for a first look for a while, although there's a couple of items coming in from Thunderhead Creations. You probably know what it is, but there's a couple of items coming in from Thunderhead Creations, hopefully sometime during next week, so I can start the fuck. It's not really worth doing a first look on a pod kit. Oh look, it's a pod kit. There's the pod, there's the battery, done. Yeah, it's not worth doing a first look on a pod kit, and that's all that's really been coming in, but there is a new item, two new items actually, coming in from Thunderhead Creations, hopefully next week. If it's not next week, it will definitely be the week after. Couple of things to cover though. I need to bring my notes up because I've forgotten what the fuck they are already. Oh! There's been some questions on the thumbnails, right? It's like the... Well, I don't pull stupid faces like that, but there's been some questions about the thumbnails. I've done it before. That style of thumbnail about... it must have been about, what, 4 years ago now? Something like 4 years ago. The YouTube algorithm is forever changing, and it seems that what YouTube have now been concentrating on is thumbnails with faces on them. Now you look at the likes of Linus Tech Tips, who's been doing that style of thumbnail for the past, half decade now, Jay's 2 Cents, all the other big review channels out there, and not just the review channels, people like Tim Pool, everyone like Tim Pool actually, in the political commentary section. The Quartering is another classic example. They're all putting their faces in the thumbnails, and they've been doing it for a long time. Facebook prefers human faces on thumbnails. Not Facebook, YouTube, yeah. YouTube prefer human faces on thumbnails. It's as simple as that. It's basically as simple as that. And it basically means that if a person logs in and they're over 18 years of age, obviously, because YouTube are now fucking automatically shoving all my videos in over 18s only, but if they've logged in and they've proved they're over 18 and they search for vaping, a video with a thumbnail with a face on it is more than likely to be above a video with a thumbnail of just the product on it. This is why I started redoing the thumbnails about 2.5-3 weeks ago now, because I've seen this trend starting to happen again. I mean, YouTube were basically... I've left Second Life running in the background. That's what those fucking noises are. I have as well. But YouTube have basically hit the reset button when it comes to what they're doing with thumbnails relating to search. That's essentially what it comes down to. So get used to my big ugly face on the thumbnails, because it's going to be like that for the foreseeable future until they change something else in the fucking algorithm. I need to change the thumbnails back again. I'm still basically working on fine-tuning the way that I actually do the thumbnails, because right now I'm basically posing like a for 2 seconds at the beginning of the video, the actual review itself, and I just slice that bit off at the very beginning and take a snapshot and then export it out. I'm trying to figure out another way of doing the thumbnails rather than directly from the video itself, but to be honest, that's the quickest way of doing it. And if you look at the way that Linus Tech Tips actually, he done some vlog thing about 2.5 years ago of the way that he does his videos, and his snapshot of his face is actually recorded from a still pose that he takes at the very end of the recording. I do it at the very beginning, so I do it a bit differently. But yeah, get used to my face in the thumbnails. That's all I can say, folks. Simple as that. What else is that? The Revisited series. There's been a little bit of confusion with the Revisited series that I'm thinking and doing. I'm not revisiting mods from like 2017. There's no point. Because there's been some people that's been messaging me and emailing me saying, Vic, do a re-review of the Smock Alien. No, why? The fucking mod's like over half a decade old now, and there's far better Smock mods out there compared to the Smock Alien. No, this is going to be a revisit from mods and tanks and drippers that I've reviewed over the past couple of months. It's not going to go back into 2016, 2017 and 2018, because you can't find those mods anymore, because half of them, not just half of them, 3/4 of them are no longer in production. So it's pointless having a revisited review of a product that you can't fucking buy. There's no point in doing that. So that's the whole point of the revisited series of videos. It's to look at products like the Dovepot Ethos that's been coming up for it's almost about 3-4 weeks now since I did the review for this. That's the whole point of the reviews, or the revisit reviews that I'm going to be doing. It's looking back on products that I've reviewed a month or at most 2 months ago, to give people an update on how that product's actually performing after long-term use, and not 3 or 4 days testing for tanks and drippers, but 5 or 6 days of testing for full-out mods like this. That's the whole point in the revisited series, I think. And of course the battery runs out. Seriously? I think the revisited series is probably going to start kicking off midway through this month, because we're now at the very beginning of the month of June. And what I'm going to start doing is, as we go into the middle of June, I'm going to look back to products that I've reviewed a month to a month and a half ago from the middle of June, and then start kicking off the revisited series from then. As I said in last week's WhatsApp, it's not going to revisit pods and disposables, because that's completely fucking pointless. It's going to be revisiting tanks, stock coil sub-ohm tank kits, mods, whether it be borrow tank devices or just normal mods that you get, normal single or dual battery box mods, rebuildable tanks, rebuildable drippers that I've reviewed over the past month and a half leading up to that point that I'm looking back in the calendar, that kind of thing. Now, it does mean that the revisited series is not going to be, there's not going to be a revisited video every week, because some weeks it's nothing but pods that gets reviewed. Other weeks it's a mixture of pods, AIOs, and maybe a rebuildable of some description. That will be the week that something, or maybe 2 items may even be picked out from that list, and a revisited video goes up. So it won't be every single item being revisited again, because again, the fuck's looking at a pod the second time after a month and a half? There isn't fucking any. It's either broke or it's not broke, and 9 times out of 10 they're not broke, they just keep going. So yeah, that's the whole point of the revisited series, folks. It's basically a chance for people who are the kind of vape shopper who waits, because a lot of people do, they wait after the review comes out for any signs from any of the reviewers that have reviewed the product of any kind of problem that pops up. And that's the whole point of the revisited series of videos actually popping up on the channel, in case a problem actually does pop up. Even if there isn't a problem, there's going to be a revisited video for that product anyway. It may only be like 4 minutes long. Yeah, it's still working, and that's the video basically finished, but there will be a revisited video for every major product that I get my hands on to review, and it'll be roughly a month to at most a month and a half after that product's been reviewed that we go back again to do the whole revisited thing. That's what I was going to do 2 months, but that's too long. So it's going to be a month to a month and a half, probably a month to be honest, because any problems or major problems that crop up with something, like long-term problem, they generally tend to crop up after 3 or 4 weeks of use. After 3 or 4 weeks of use. So that's what the plan's going to be, folks. Yeah. So that's going to be kicking off hopefully midway through this month, as we go further and further into the summer months. Last thing to cover, it's going to be a short WhatsApp, folks. Last thing to cover, eSig 101. Yes, the series is still going on. There's 2 final videos to do for eSig 101 Season 3, and that's the 2 mixing videos. I've managed to find, because I thought I fucking lost the nitrile gloves. They're there. Where the fuck are they? They're over there somewhere. Yeah, they're over there somewhere. So I'm going to be finishing off Season 3 of eSig 101 with the 2 mixing videos. So the first mix, Yeah, the neighbours are out with their kids. That's why you're hearing lots of kids laughter, because it's like fucking 22 Celsius out there right now, and I'm staying in the fucking house. Fuck the heat. No. Anything above 20 Celsius, too hot, should be fucking banned, if you fucking ask me. So yeah, there's loads of kids out and there's people barbecuing. I've been smelling fucking bacon all damn day, and I'm fucking starving. Thank you very much. Yeah. So the eSig 101 series is going to be kicking off again. What's going to happen is, again, it's going to be over the next couple of weeks, probably midway through this month. The last 2 episodes of season 3 will be released probably back to back on the same day, to basically bookmark the end of season 3, which will clear the decks out for season 4. Season 4 is still going to go on, and it's still going to be a fucking long one, because I was looking at the plans I had written down on Notepad long before I shut the office down and moved back here into the bedroom. It's still looking like a 14-15 episode season. All to do with everything to do with basically hobbyist advanced vaping, like, borrow tank devices, squonks, mech mods, single battery, dual battery mods. Essentially the second part of the battery safety thing that I covered in season 2. That's going to be another video all by its own. I still need to contact Mooch about that. Keep forgetting to contact Mooch. There's also going to be much more in-depth analysis of rebuildable tanks, rebuildable drippers. What are the differences between the two? What's the differences between certain subclasses of different types of RTA? The RDTA, the RTA, bottom airflow RTAs, side airflow RTAs. There's all sorts of fucking stuff that you need to jump into when you're dealing with rebuildables, especially in the hobbyist side of vaping. And I'm hoping that the 14 or 15, depending on how I do the last 2 episodes, I'm hoping that the 14 or 15 episodes for season 4 essentially covers all of the bases, not the in-depth stuff, but the bases of advanced hobbyist vaping. So someone there's that smell of bacon. Who the fuck's cooking bacon? So it's like the smell of bacon ends. It's like one family stopped their barbecue, then another barbecue starts up and they finish, then another barbecue starts up and they finish. It's been happening all fucking day, and I'm fucking starving. I'm on a diet now, by the way, folks, in case you haven't guessed, with all the whining that I'm doing just now. I decided, I need to lose a little bit. I'm not overly fat, but I'm starting to put it on a little bit, and I thought, I need to cut down a bit in the food. Need to cut down now, not so much the food, all the fucking chocolate I keep shoving down my throat as well. So yeah, I'm on a bit of a diet. Fucking that bacon though. Fuck. I hate fucking summer when everyone's barbecuing. The fuck was I talking about again before I started whining? Yeah, I'm hoping to cover all the basics, the bases of advanced hobbyist vaping. And the idea is, again, for season 4, it's not really going to be for most of you watching me right now, because you're going to know everything that I'm going to, practically everything that I'm going to be covering in season 4. Practically everything. The whole point in season 4 is for the people who are finishing season 2, going through season 3, and heading into season 4. The people that are on, something like this, a stock coil sub-ohm tank kit. This is the entire point of season 4. It's to entice them to ditch that and move on to a rebuildable. They can keep the mod's fine, dual battery box mod, that's fine. Ditch that and move on to a rebuildable. That's the whole point of season 4, and it's basically going to be covering all the basics and bases of what these people need to know so they can comfortably move in to rebuildable tank atomizers and rebuildable drippers, and then make their way up into borrow tank devices like this, squonking mech mods, all that kind of stuff. Season 4 is still undergoing initial planning. I've got the basics of the first 7. No, it's not 7. 4. I've got the basics of the first 4 episodes all written down already. It's going to be a fucking long one. It's going to take a lot of fucking work. A lot of work, an awful lot of work, because especially for the RTA and RDA side of things, because we're going to be delving into a lot of big details to do with how rebuildable tanks work, comparing them to a stock coil tank, and what the differences are between the different sub-genres of not just RTAs, but sub-genres of RDAs as well. And that's not even going into the whole borrow tank thing, or the whole squonking thing, or the mech thing, or the mech squonking thing. There's just so much to fucking cover in Season 4. It's going to be a nightmare planning it all out, but it's going to be a lot of fun recording it. It really is. Anyway. Oh, still on the ethos, even with its bottom plate problem, having to fucking unscrew the thing to get rid of all the liquid that pools down there. This is the reason that I'm doing the revisited line. Because, you know, if I didn't do the revisited line, nobody would have known about the liquid getting trapped underneath this bottom plate. If you're like me and you wick tanks when you're half asleep or high in tramadol, yeah, then wake up the next morning to the entire tank emptied out all over the bottom of your mod and on your build mat. And then the bottom of the mod starts seeping liquid for days after it as the liquid slowly seeps out the bottom. Then you need to unscrew the fucking bottom panel, take the bottom panel off and give it a wipe. They should have magnetised that. See that? They should have magnetised it. Easy access into the screen. That's what they should have done, but they didn't. I still love this thing though. Still love this thing. It's not just the fact that that it's a dual battery borrow tank system, so it's got a much more longer battery life. It's because I've got this thing in it. I've still got the Hazard RBA in here, and it's a fucking good RBA. I was actually thinking of putting the Titan in this, because I've still not Taita, because I've still got the Taita sitting here as well with the Taita RBA head. But I like the Hazard. Because of that very enclosed chamber sitting in there. The flavour from this thing's fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. And it's not just that. The Ethos tank holds a crap load more liquid compared to a normal borrow tank. So it's ticking all the boxes. It really is ticking all the boxes. You've just got to be careful when you're wicking your tank not to fuck it up so it pisses liquid all over the bottom of the fucking mod. Anything else to cover? Nope, that's it. Thumbnails, revisited, and eSig 101. And that's basically it, folks. It's a rather short What's Up. In fact, it's going to be under 20 minutes. That is a very short What's Up. Quick note. Aidan, if you don't watch the UK Vape Show, and I know some of you don't, Aidan Littlebro Vapes has started what is essentially the Sober October Challenge early. He's doing it this month instead of October, because Aidan, like me and Sean, and by the looks of it, Adam, is going to go to the October Expo. And being sober during the October Expo, nah, that's not going to fucking happen for Aidan. So he's doing the Sober October thing this month. There's going to be a link to Aidan's it's not his Littlebro Vapes channel, it's his vlogging channel. There's going to be a link down there, if I actually remember to fucking do it. A link down there, there's going to be more details there. He's raising money for children with cancer. We done a public poll on the UK Vape Show, and the Children with Cancer charity came up top. So all the money that Aidan's going to raise during his Sober June is going to be donated to Children with Cancer. Also, the first of about 4 half auctions, and they're called half auctions for a reason, but the first of 4 half auctions is going to kick off on this channel probably the beginning of July, the first or second week of July. And the idea is all of the former review sample mods that have been collecting up at the studio for about 4 years now is going to be slowly auctioned off, one package at a time. And the idea is a bundle of 3 or 4 mods. There's going to be no accessories, there's going to be no instruction manual, it's just going to be the mod bubble wrapped and shoved inside a box. 4 or 3 of them, and the idea is half of the money is going to go to Children with Cancer, and the other half of the money is going to go to me, because I fucking need it. Yes, so that's why it's called a half auction. Half the money is going to Children with Cancer, the other half is basically going to go to Vaping with Vic. Essentially, that's what's going to happen. So some of the debts that's been accrued while at the studio can slowly get paid off, but that's not going to kick off until July. I want to have the half auctions start after Aiden's charity one has ended and before the Misfits charity live kicks off in August, and then there'll be a long break between the first half auction and the second half auction, which will probably kick off sometime in autumn. I'm thinking September or October. Probably September, to be honest, because the October Expo comes up in October. We'll figure something out. So there will be a series of auctions that's going to be spread out on this channel, on the UK Vape Show actually, over the space of about 6 or 7 months. There's going to be long gaps in between the auctions because there is still a lot of boxed stuff as well that's sitting in the cupboard next door. Most of the pod kits are gone, but there's still a lot of boxed AIOs, a good selection of mods, a good selection of RTAs that are still new, sealed in their box. I need to get rid of a lot of, because I basically ran out of storage space, folks. That's what it comes down to. There's no space left to store anything, so I need to get rid of a lot of stuff. And that's the whole idea of the half auctions. Half of it goes to children with cancer, and the other half, well, essentially goes to me, because I need it. Simple as that, folks. Anyway, I think I have covered everything now. Have I? Done the thumbnails, done the eSig 101, done the revisited thing, talked about Aiden's Sober June thing, link in the description if I remember to fucking do it. If I don't remember to do it, somebody post a link in the comments. Thank you. And yeah, the half auctions that are kicking off, and I think I've covered everything. Oh, no I haven't. I forgot to write this down. There will be no What's Up next week. Not because I'm going to be outside stuffing my face in a barbecue. No, it's because of the American Cancer Society Relay for Life charity event that happens in Second Life roughly the same time every year. I will be helping, like a volunteer basically. It's like a Relay for Life in real life, except they do it in Second Life. There's a big fucking long track that's been built with campsites dotted all around it, and you basically run your avatar around this track. Long track this year from the map that I've looked at. So I do this every year, folks, for the American Cancer Society. I basically help them, as a volunteer, kind of do a little bit of organising here and there. So yeah, for all day Sunday next weekend, I'll be busy in SL. What the fuck is going on with this curtain? Hold on. All day next week in SL, I'll be busy helping with the Relay for Life of Second Life for the American Cancer Society. So no What's Up next week. The What's Up shall return the week after that. I think I have now covered everything. I keep forgetting things and they just pop back into my head again. Yeah, I think that's it, folks. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and yeah, have a good one.